welcome to Beautiful Subconscious. This is our first recorded episode for 2025, and I am super, super pumped. There is no one else I would want to start this year off than my dear, dear friend who is our guest, which I will give you the intro in just a moment. But today we're going to be discussing how to make 2025 your most fulfilling year yet professionally, and it may not be what you think. So joining us today is the extraordinary Kristina. Over the past 2 decades, Kristina has impacted over 500,000 people and delivered more than $250 million in business value through transformative strategies. She is a time alchemist and seasoned leader. She works with businesses and professionals worldwide to achieve extraordinary outcomes. Kristina has shared the stage with global icons like Kevin Costner, the bodyguard, guys, the bodyguard, J.T. Fox, and Joe Foster, inspiring audiences to embrace innovation, collaboration, and adaptability. Her insights will help you rethink what it takes to succeed in today's fast-paced world. This episode will be packed with actionable strategies to help you take bold steps towards professional fulfillment in 2025. Welcome, Kristina.
Hi, Shell.
I'm so excited that we're doing this. And yeah, for you to be the very first guest of this year, it just is very, very significant because we are on a mission together. And I can't wait to talk further about that. But it just seemed so no-brainer to have you as the first guest. So I'm very, very excited to have you on here.
I'm so honoured. I can't wait to see what
So as always, as you know, we pull a card for our episode. So tap into your juju and let me know what card is pulling you by you just letting me know when to stop. And this will be what our episode will be guided by. And whenever you tap into this episode, when you listen to it, let this support you.
Stop.
So when you're – stop, did you say? Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Oh, okay. I'm a full-time blessing. I love that. Like that's literally
Yes.
it's got that career vibe to it, too, full-time. But like, let's remember, no matter where you are and what hours you're working, you are a full-time blessing. So I love to see how that's going to open up within our episode today. So welcome. Firstly, how were your holidays? Did you get a little breather between 2024 and now?
My holidays were very quiet this year. I worked through a fair bit, but I did have some time to go up north, visit the family. We will spend some time on the beach and then back into it this year. So.
Beautiful. So Kristina is joining us all the way from beautiful Queensland. Whereabouts exactly?
Brisbane.
Brisbane, yeah, that's right. I was going to say Sunny Coast, but I was like, no, you're Brisbane.
Okay. Sunshine State, but we're closer.
Yeah, it's not too far. You guys got a beautiful state. So can we just reflect on 2024? Let's just both recap, because I think the way to move forward and get really clear on the year ahead is to also see what worked, maybe what lessons you're pulling from 2024. So what were your highlights?
Highlights for me for 2024 was I did a lot more personal development coaching to really ground me, hone in on my strengths, but actually really see where my weaknesses and my what I needed to learn more from and where I needed to learn it from. So I've spent a lot of time in 2024 seeking out the best of the best coaches, seeking the best of the best experiences to really, really develop a whole new strategy and playbook for me, my life, my career, and my clients.
I love that. So when you sought after those, elite coaches and those experiences, what did you learn about yourself within that space?
Do you know what? I learned so much. I thought I was pretty clued into me and how I worked, and, I thought I had it pretty figured out. And then when you get a different perspective of people who are just gravitating at a much higher level than you realize there is so much more to learn at such a faster pace. You think you're going fast, and then you realize actually you can go at 10 times the speed, because it's pretty amazing what you can achieve. So I realized really quickly about how they work and their strategies and their frameworks, and just met so many more people. My networking circle, my inner circle of people has expanded exponentially, which I love.
Globally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's global now. I have networks, connections, entrepreneurs, business people, friends. I've made great friends from all these experiences and really found out what I thought was driving me. And I actually got to some root causes of maybe it wasn't what I thought, which was pretty eye-opening, because when you really understand what your drivers are, or where you think something's good, and you go, oh my gosh, I was actually being driven by this to this, which is really deep into the subconscious.
That's where we like to play.
Yeah, it helps you to just change your ways of working and change your, like, how you view everything in your perspective.
I love that, because like you touched on, like, we have only access to what we know within ourselves, that we have brought consciousness to ourselves, in and around ourselves. But when we start to put ourselves in new crowds, in and around different velocities where people are going at different paces and having different standards of what they expect from themselves, then all of a sudden your playing field is so much more larger. And not that it wasn't enough before. It wasn't like you weren't worthy enough, you did not do enough. But all of a sudden you're like, hey, there's so much more that I can access within myself, because just from looking around me, that's just what everyone's expecting of themselves. So I can have a piece of that cake too, and not take it from anyone else, but just expect that of me in a really wholesome, in a really really aligned sort of way. Not because, yes, it's coming from a space that you're not enough and you've got to prove yourself more, but the fact that there is so much more potential that lies within us all that we probably don't realize that's there until you get presented with it in other areas. So that's the main reason I believe in, the benefits of circulating in and around new crowds. And I think that was a huge lesson for me for 2024. The biggest standout was, getting more clarity on where I want to take my business. It took a little second of just like, do I want to go in this direction? Is that really what's aligned to me? Does that fit good for me? Do I want to go in this direction? And the bottom line for me was human interaction is so important. Like, human interaction. Thankfully, I felt very fortunate to be able to have pivoted my business over COVID to not work directly out of a clinic and be able to pivot online and have access globally to clients. Now the pendulum's swinging back and I'm like, I miss people. I've got a beautiful clinic here but however, like, it's just me, myself, and my thoughts, with the average of me and my thoughts. Like, you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around, and it's just me sometimes. And it's like, you've got to put yourself in those situations where people are doing bigger things, not better things necessarily, but bigger things that you aspire to do. So then you can get those, you can generate those juices within yourself of what's capable. So that was a huge lesson for me.
I love that. Do you find from the interactions, the extra networking, that you become a bit more comfortable with being uncomfortable with your goals and aspirations? Whereas before you might have played it a bit smaller and a bit safer, whereas you get in these circles and you're like, maybe I can dream a bit bigger.
Yeah.
And it's okay to fail, because I will just keep going. So it's not actually failing if you never quit. But do you find that you get comfortable a little bit more? We're all uncomfortable, but a bit more comfortable at the uncomfortableness. Does that work?
Yeah. Well, I think for that, I definitely dive more into dreaming bigger, because I'm just like, shit, Michelle, you are not like, you go out there. That my experience was, you go out there and you have all these incredible dreams and aspirations and you get up for it. You're like, yes, this is it. I'm crushing. I'm going to do it. But then when you're not consistently putting yourself in that energy, in those crowds, then you can slowly start to talk yourself out of it and drop it down to a smaller scale. And then until you put yourself back out and you're like, no, this is the level. This is the level that we all deserve. This is the level that we should command for ourselves. And I think it's natural I think it's natural that we might always want to default to something that feels a little bit more familiar and safe, but it's only when you put yourself in those crowds consistently that you can start to hold that as the framework for you. I mean, some people can do that and hold that on their own a lot more, but I think, and look, I am going to generalize, correct me if I'm wrong, I do feel like females might withdraw back to a default a lot quicker than males can, purely because they then see all the other things that they feel that they need to take care of as well, and then they put that last. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do think that for a lot of women, there is a balance there where there's so much science and stats out there that says how much of the extra load women take on when it comes to the home and it comes to if they've got a family, or even if they, like, not even talking children or husband, but in general, like your blood family or anything, women do take more on. I do think though, and like you say, men are more probably driven by the materialistic generalized, but then the women, I read a stat recently that, women are about to come into a lot more power and a lot more money in the next 5 years. And they say women are driven to invest more purposefully. So it is interesting. There is a difference. There's no right and wrong, but I think the key to circle back is making sure you're very clear on your intentions and knowing your motivators. So I do know that there are high profile people and their motivators is like they are highly competitive, right or wrong. I'll tell you a story. Even on a different note, I was talking with someone, a girlfriend of mine, and she was obsessed with Strava back in the day. Now, her motivator, and she was getting
Can you just, for us who don't know, what's Strava? Can you let us know?
Strava. Okay, so Strava is a online app that tracks your exercise.
Oh, right. Right. Yes, I have heard of that. Yes.
That got very, very popular fast. Why? Because it was creating a competitive nature for people to track their runs, track their cycle, track their swimming. So I digress from business, but the actual underlying.
The mentality and the patterns the same.
The thing is the same. So she was saying she was obsessed with it. People couldn't even understand when I was training how I wasn't on Strava. And I'm like, that doesn't interest me. I'm self-motivated because I do it for me and not for the outcome there. But she was obsessed with it, and it turned out her driver was an ex was on there. So she would train extra hard thinking that he's seen it, or if he's gone running and then she happens to go running, does she beat him? Now, I was like, well, there's two things here, right? I said, that's your motivator. So if that's motivating you to exercise and everything, great. And I said, but you do probably need to look inwards a little bit as well. So you know what? But again, if you know your motivator and if it's to beat that ex just to show him up that you can run faster up that hill and you're getting the benefit,
yeah. I agree. I think there's a real fine dance with that. Like, I think if you're achieving more than what you would have been able to push yourself without that, yes, awesome. Use it temporarily, but simultaneously look at why you need him or that ex or that external thing to stimulate you in a way that might be from ego.
Yeah. I mean, even at the moment, leading into 2025, I mean, everyone does it. I've reset my goals. I looked at 2024. I saw my gaps. I saw what I didn't hit, and what I did. But I had to reframe instead of just going into the negative. Oh, I didn't hit this and I wanted to do this. I looked at all of the positives. I did the whole journey, gave myself a pat for what I did. But then going into 2025, I've really had to hone in on why didn't I hit it, and how can I find a driver to hit it? Because I got a bit comfortable I got very busy and I got comfortable, I guess, in doing too much. As my current coach says, you've got to stay super. He says, starve your distractions and feed your focus. And the focus has to be on high value tasks, which.
Yeah. Well, let's start to touch on that, right? So I think we've recapped on 2024. We saw that there was a lot of personal development and a lot of personal growth in two different sort of circumstances with you and I. And, we take from it obviously all the wisdom and all the growth to apply now into this year. Like, for me, I feel like we've got so much more clarity in the direction in where we want our programs to go, where Shell Marie Kinesiology is going. And that feels really good. It's just like, just stay in your lane, stick with that. You don't need to be tempted by that beautiful shiny object. Just stay in your lane, get it done, do the things, get it done. And I think, there's a lot of, I don't know, with that, it can sort of feel like you never know when that next step it's going to make you pop into that, that level of success or that level of comfortability, but you've got to just stay in your lane and keep going. And it's not always easy to keep that drive. So touching on now, 2025 in what we believe would be, and from your perspective too, what would be your, I guess, strategies in making this year your most fulfilling professionally yet?
So I've got a few tips here where I definitely think you need to start with, like anyone you would have heard, is the intentions. What's your intentions? What's sort of your mission statement and your North Star, to make sure it's fulfilling and aligning with your personal values, your personal goals and values, your work goals. That's all got to align. That
Sure.
gives you-
So someone's hearing this for the first time, like, and they're just like, I don't know what my goals are. Like, what's my North Star? What is that? How would you explain what that is? Let's
start with just even write it out, give yourself a quadrant and like a square, and write out, what is my personal goals in longer term. I mean, I go through this in a whole thing in our program.
Totally.
Very high level, like write out a few top things personally you want to achieve, or, it could be anything from serving others and charity to running up that hill, doing a marathon, learning a new language, whatever. Travel is always in there. Then what's your values? So what's your core values? Honesty, loyalty, whatever your core values are. Then look at your career, because sometimes people do these separately, and that's when you might be misaligning in your fulfillment, because you might be then driven by something totally different at work, and that's why you're constantly hitting your head against a wall. So write out some goals and intention. We're talking 2025. What is your goal for if you want more fulfillment? Is it more money? Is it a change in career? Is it just feeling happier in getting up to go to work? And then we've got to work out what that looks like for you, because if you don't, that's similarly to getting in a car and driving and not having a destination. So if you do that, you will just do the same thing for this next year.
Totally.
We'll end up in December and go, my year is no different. We'll be having the same conversation because you didn't actually set any target.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Totally. I agree with that. And I think, like, to further add to that, when people set targets, like, that can be forgotten about. Like, cool, I'm going to do that, and there's the target there, and then I am still going to default to the same things that I did last year. So what would you say to that? And I think, we just touched before, give the audience a little debrief beforehand, because before Kristina and I hit record on here, I was signing up to my business coaches another 12 months, and they are phenomenal. And it's like, I can't do it without them. I truly don't want to. And it would be a disservice to my business, to myself, to my clients, if I don't go another 12 years. I am shit scared. Like, I pressed that button. I put my card details in. I was sweating when Kristina jumped on, and I voice dropped my coach. I'm just like, I'm actually pretty emotional, because a lot of last year, I know I've said that I've got a lot more clarity now, but it wasn't without its challenges and it want to burn this whole business down to the ground sort of mentality. Like, it's just like, I'm done with it. It would be easier if I didn't, have this, because we all have our zone of geniuses, right? But then we also know that to run a business and to run it successfully, there are so many other moving parts that you just have to do, whether you realize that or not. And yes, you can always outsource it until you get to that point where you just hopefully just do the zone of genius that you want to do. But initially, especially with small businesses, and especially as you're starting to navigate and you're scaling, you're going to be doing stuff that you don't necessarily always want to do. Point in hand, I don't always love doing social media. I've got this love-hate relationship with it, but you have to do it, because how are you going to reach the people that you know that you can serve if you're not trying to have that omnipresence? So to kind of give that full segment of it was scary, and we know the feeling of what it's like when you're investing, not blindedly, but you are putting a lot more on the line, and you're like, freak, if this doesn't work, I'm screwed. But you have no choice but to make it work. Like, you have no choice but to make it work.
Right.
Hello, lovely listeners. Our Total Life Transformation Program is live. If you feel stuck in your health, career, relationships, or money, this is the chance for a complete revamp. Over 6 months, you'll experience powerful changes that will transform every part of your life. With the guidance of 5 specialists, so yours truly, a kinesiologist, money mentor, functional health practitioner, career advisor, and our relationship coach, we address 4 key life pillars: your health, your career, your money, money and your relationships. One investment shifts you from feeling low-key, unfulfilled to fully energized and inspired in every area of your life. Health. If stress, emotional baggage, or unhealthy habits drain you, we will help release what's in your subconscious and create a personalized nutrition and supplement plan to reset your energy and health. Career. If you feel lost or stuck in your career, our kinesiologist and career mentor provide clarity, confidence, and an action plan to move forward with purpose. Money. If scarcity or fear around money keeps you stuck, we heal your financial blueprint. With our money mentor, you will gain practical strategies to confidently manage your finances for life. And relationships. If disconnection in your relationships leave you feeling unseen, we heal emotional wounds, leading to deeper connection, trust, and love. Now it's time to create your extraordinary life. So book your clarity call now for our total life transformation program, because it is live and waiting for you. So what do you have to say for that?
Definitely. Look, that's that uncomfortable coming in. So again, if you keep doing the same thing that you did last year and you do it and no one's holding you accountable and you don't have the right circle of influence around you, it is really, 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 really difficult to actually get anywhere different or anywhere where you want to go. And life's about living. Life's about experiences. And like you say, you love them. You love what they're doing. They work for you, and it's actually going to benefit your clients. And if you can make the right steps to give you the clarity, to give you the confidence to actually jump in there and do what you want to do or fulfill your role even better, which is helping clients, your clients will in turn obviously help your bottom line, which then will all ROI back to each other. But it is a scary thought, because so many people don't actually, they put themselves last, and then they'll spend money. You're always spending your money, right? But are you, like your time, are you spending it on the right things? So what's the ROI? Are they high value things you're spending your money on? Are they high value things you're spending your time on? And they correlate. So having your personal, you're the one who makes all the major decisions in your life. So if you're not constantly like mind feeding, then, and constantly learning and constantly trying to better yourself, then you're just going to stay in the same rat wheel. Now, some people are very happy with that, but a lot, if you're feeling like you're even listening to this, then I'm thinking that you probably do want to have a different experience, get more fulfilled. And to do that, you need to change. You need to change who's around you. You need to change what you're learning, what you're listening to. You need to become very, very self-aware of, are you spending your money on the right things that are an appreciating asset, i.e. yourself, i.e. proper investments, your career, in also things like, are you making yourself more valuable at work? How are you mind feeding to make yourself even more valuable at work? And are you keeping up with the latest technologies? And then obviously then to your time, are you spending your time right on the right things, high value things? Or are you really busy? Lots of us, you speak to anyone, I'm so busy, but busy doing what? I mean, that
busy doing what, right? Exactly.
That's a very big bugbear when people.
It's confronting, right? Because we're all busy and we're all just like, I'm doing so much, and your mind is constantly going. But it's just like, okay, what are you actually doing to move the needle? What are you investing in, and what are those big actions that you're going to take that's going to make a huge difference? Not just the fluffing around, not just and whether it's in your career or not. But I think just having the accountability and leaning into like that discomfort and leaning into the vulnerability of just like, shit, yeah, you're right. I'm going to hide in, you have two options. You can either hide in the background and just hope that no one kind of catches you out, and you can coast in what you know you're comfortable-ish in, but it's kind of creeping out of uncomfortable because you know the pressure of something more is sort of at your, behind you in that moment, going like, what are you doing? Like, you've got more in you. Why are you allowing yourself to settle for so much more, so much less than what you deserve? But you're not holding yourself accountable or not putting yourself in a position for others to lovingly hold you accountable. So you can ask for more from yourself. You can deliver more to the people that you're here to serve. You can show up as a really quality asset to the companies that you work for, and you can feel fulfilled from that. Like, it's so to go home and have your head laid down on the pillow and be like, I showed up today, like genuinely freaking showed up today. That's the way that we should all feel when we, hit the bed at night, in my opinion.
Yeah. I always liken it to, if anyone's watched me at all at Instagram, on what's your rocking chair moment. So if you are in your rocking chair, what are the core memories and the experiences that you're going to remember? And it's not going to be quiet quitting. It's not going to be that you coast through your job every day, because you spend 30, 40, 50% of your life at work or working, right? And work doesn't have to be this like slog. It can actually be fun. I want to enjoy who I work with. I want to enjoy, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I hate some of the work I'm doing, and sometimes, yes, people frustrate me. But in general, I want to love what I do day in and day out, and I find the best, and I find people to talk to, and we have great conversations. And so it is more about what's that rocking chair, and then and I can tell you hands down over the past 2 years, where I have really stepped up my coaches, my personal development, that my life has hit a trajectory that I would have taken a lot longer to get to if I didn't have them in my life.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with that.
I'll just say, Shell, as well, and it was, can I say, the hardest and most uncomfortable decision I have ever made in my life. I think there was even, for the first one, there was even tears late at night making the decision, because it is a big financial decision sometimes.
Sure.
With some of the coaches, because
to invest in yourself. Yeah.
Invest in yourself. Yeah. Because I'm used to investing in a tangible house and a car,
or for your kids, or for, the collective family. But we don't realize that investing in yourself is investing in your family. We really forget that sometimes. And it's just, and it can be so debilitating of just like, I know I deserve to show up, more. And it's just like, we try to toy around with time. Like, maybe we'll just wait for a little bit longer. Maybe if I get a pay rise with that, then it'll pull through. Like, maybe you really put your power in so many external hopes. It's just like, make the decision. And look, I say this like I do this so easily, but I absolutely don't. But make the decision and just let it meet you halfway. Choose it, take an action, and just let it unravel. You can only trust from here on that you took that step with the blinded knowingness that this is something here for you, that to grow you on a greater scale, and just sit back and let it unfold for you. Like, show up for it.
I love the words you just said. We put so much power in an external source, and that is really critical to become aware of. That was like beautifully worded, because if you step back and go, well, what's in my control? I'm in my control and my decisions, and if other things are out of your control and you're focusing on them, you're wasting energy.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. So knowing that 2025, to make this a fulfilling year yet professionally, get clear on what it is that you're wanting to do. So find the intention is what we're saying here. Find what it is that's motivating you. Find what it is that is your driving force. Does it align to the intention that you want to achieve professionally? Because if they're two different things, you're going to have this internal conflict that's going to be playing out, that this is actually what you value, but here you are, you're valuing, quality time with your family, but yet you are, I don't know.
But you're setting a multi-million-dollar goal, right?
Yeah.
And then, if
overseas, so you have to be gone for 18 months.
So if they miss a line, you're going to be internal conflict, and you will default. You will always default. Yeah. That's why that's important. I'll go back on your intentions and goals with our steps. The key is there with the drivers is to set then mini goals, right? You have to set monthly, fortnightly goals. You've got to set those milestones. Like, if I did a project and I only ever looked at the outcome at the end, I would fail every time. That's why you set a goal. You have a roadmap. You have a schedule. We have milestones. We have mini milestones. We have tasks within milestones. You have like jobs within the tasks. Like, you literally reverse engineer and map it out. So you can't fail.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Reverse engineering, start big, then break it down and make it achievable week by week. And just, again, stay in your lane with that. I think it's like, how do I skip week 2 and 3 and just go straight to that? It's like, we get that is so tempting, but the bottom line is you'll always have to revert back to week 1, no matter what it is, and you'll have to start at square one again. So just do the steps bit by bit by bit.
Build the foundation.
Build the foundation. Let it build for you, and take risks for yourself with that trust, and just risks in a way that is putting you in a state of discomfort, not reckless risk, so to speak. Depends on who you ask. Depends on which coach you want to get coached by, because they'll, they will have their different. Yeah. But like, make sure it puts you in a state of like, oh my God, I'm uncomfortable. Cool. We want that.
Yeah. I now need to get to work. I need to take immediate action. I need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sort of uncomfortable risk where I'm like, I've got to go. I've got to keep moving. I've got to. Yeah. I like that. Right. I like that push. Whereas,
And the thing is, if that's not your value for starters, then your uncomfortability might be, I'm actually going to make my career less of a priority and more aligned to being at home with my family and taking a pay cut, perhaps, not whatever it is, but your uncomfortability could be the polar opposite to someone who is gearing up their next scalable business. It could be, I'm realizing what my values are this year for 2025 is to drop it all the way back and be like, I'm not motivated by that this year. And that's okay. And that might be uncomfortable because we're also programmed to do it a particular way. So I think owning that it doesn't always need to look like, hustle. No, by no means we're all just about that hustle life. It's just whatever your soul is calling and lighting you up to do, get in that zone and get uncomfortable in going after that.
Like you say, it could be transition in your job. It could just be creating more connections at work where you are. You might love your job, but you want to feel more fulfilled in the community there, because we know we all feel more fulfilled when we feel part of a team and community and when we're serving something bigger than ourselves. So it might just be understanding the why of the company you work for, if we're talking careers and fulfillment in 2025 in your job. But like you say, it's not necessarily full hustle. It could be in any direction, but it is change.
Yeah. And leaning into whatever brings you discomfort in a way that's pushing your edges of growth. Therefore, it's expanding you. That's all I think the main goal for us all, for you and for us, is to expand ourselves in whichever ways that's true for us professionally. I love that. So with that said, so I don't think we've even touched on it yet completely. So Kristina and I, we met a couple of years ago now, last year? No, a couple of years ago now.
No, it would have been in 2023 towards the end.
Oh, gosh, that's, yeah. So we met in a business group together. We both invested big on ourselves, and it was the most incredible 12 months, and it purely is a lot to do with the people that you meet and the connections that you get to create that are so outside of your usual day to day, because our day to day, you're with people that might not dream the same dreams that you dream, but they're still in your life every day because, they live in the vicinity, or they're your family, or they're your kids' parents or kids' friends' parents, whatever it is. And so to be in a collective room of people who are just as delulu as you in the most greatest way is powerful. And so Kristina and I obviously hit it off.
Look, you're in Perth. I'm in Brisbane. We're on opposite sides of the world, and we found each other and came together. That's what we're talking about, the power of these, of networking and finding your people.
Exactly. And even though the opposite ends of Australia, we still speak so regularly, and it was only a matter of time. It wasn't if, it was only a matter of time of how we can collaborate together. We knew something was brewing, something was coming up. And so it's here, it's in full form. So we have the Total Life Transformation 6-month program, which you would have heard if you've listened to a few other episodes of this program. But Kristina is our career advisor in the career pillar of our program, because we absolutely believe that to be completely fulfilled in our lives, yes, professionally, yes, within ourselves, yes, within our health, financially, of course, but career, we all want to have that purpose. We all want to feel like we are waking up and contributing in a way that's true to us. And Kristina is our coach and our, beautiful source of expertise and, all the areas of coaching that she's invested in herself, you get to feed off for your own professional growth. So, Kristina, on there, can you just talk through what you do for our clients?
Absolutely. I love our program, and I think if you haven't looked into it, anyone needs to read it. It covers the 5 areas. So mine with career, I think it's so important, like I mentioned before, that you enjoy waking up and don't roll your eyes and think, oh my gosh, I have another day at work. So my whole goal is to work out where you've been, maybe where the gaps are, maybe if you've got it depends. We get all sorts. There's people who are wanting to transition. There's people who are wanting to get into the workforce. There's people who want to climb the corporate ladder. There's people who are leading big teams and they want to connect with their people more, have more influence within it. And then there's the entrepreneurs who are wanting to scale businesses and things like that. So depending where you are in your professional life, we take you on a journey from understanding what is your core mission and where do you want to go. And then we set those goals. And I have a lot of different strategies and frameworks to work out either how do we get you more confident in communicating, because communication in any of the areas is actually really quite key. How do I get you to get more confidence in the workplace? How do we add more value? Sometimes and just by doing this, you're adding more value in your workplace because you'll be turning up rather than just spending your hours there. So we can do things like what's the different learning paths for you, or even just tips on, recently I was speaking with one of our clients on negotiating a salary. So we worked on a 3-month plan on how she was to set herself up and just show more value and be more proactive and take a different approach rather than waiting to be asked if she for the pay rise. We wanted to establish the framework from the start on how to get there and how to start actually pre-framing and adding more value and going a bit and beyond to show, hey, I'm doing all this and this is why I think I should earn X, and doing your background check and things like that. So a lot of different areas and the different things, but it is really important for me that people go in and love what they do. I don't expect everyone to go, yay, I'm going to work every day, but to in general be fulfilled. Like I say, in your rocking chair, you want to look back and yes, you're not going to go, I'm so glad I worked 20 hours a day every day, but what was the outcome? What was the why? How many people did you serve?
What impact did you leave?
And what impact did you leave? What's your legacy? That's what you will fondly look back on. You will think of your family. You will have your relationships, but you spend so much time at work. It really makes me sad when I hear people wishing their life away, wishing the hours away. Time is currency. And when people are wishing their hours away, 8-9 hours a day, I'm like, that's so sad. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Life's precious. So
Absolutely.
I want to make people love it.
Absolutely.
Whatever it is for you, let's go find a way to love it.
Yeah, right. And the card just caught my eye. We're a full-time blessing. So we got to operate from that truth, of that knowingness. We are a full-time blessing. How can we show up in that within our professional lives? And I think a lot of women I speak to we get a lot of positive feedback in and around our program. They're just I love it. It sounds so exactly what I need, or just it sounds so powerful. It's I can see what it would do for me. And yet there's a little hesitation, and that's okay because we'll always meet people with where they're at. But I think what really can hold people initially back is because they've been in the employment cycle for so long and they're in that industry that they're familiar with, and they can somewhat lose confidence in seeing anything outside of that and beyond that. And we love to shift that up on a subconscious level. I love to clear those blocks. I love to get right into their psyche and understand where that's kind of come from and how that's been rippling out into their behavior and how they are showing up in that, with the looking at their lives through those lenses and just shifting that up completely. So like a lot of people might say that I don't know what my passions are, or I don't know what my goals are, I don't know what my life mission is. And that's a big question. It's a big loaded question. And we're not here to say, come knowing what impact you want to make. It's just like, just be open to allowing us to guide you in finding more about yourself on a professional level than you may have access to on your own.
100%. And that is real on so many levels, where people feel either trapped in their current role, they're defined by their title. I get that a lot. Or even just giving people the confidence. I was working with a woman once and giving her the confidence. She'd been in the same sort of job. And I'm like, open up Seek, which is a job hunting app, for those that don't know. And I said, just start to have a look. I said, and then, because she's like, I don't know, or I don't know what else I could do. I said, just start looking. And I said, and then we had some tasks and stuff. And I'm like, just for fun, maybe we apply. We set up a resume. Let's go through the resume to show your skill sets that are transferable, because you're not defined by your title. Like, I don't care about the title, because I think anyone should lead or do from anywhere. But it's just opening those horizons up to go, what else is out there? And then when you like that, finding a way to get your foot in the door. I've transitioned industries where I've had no experience, and it's about getting your foot in the door. It's about networking. And then, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't, but you tried. You won't.
And you've got an asset from that. You've got experience from that, which is continuously adding to your repertoire.
Yeah. You will never regret trying, whether it did work out or not, but you will always regret going, what if?
Yeah.
What if? I wonder if I would have liked that industry. I wonder if I would have been good as a teacher. I wonder if I would have been good as a chiropractor. And you will wonder, and you don't want regret later. But if you tried it and you do it for 5 years and you're like, oh, it's not for me, you would have had some great experiences, great fun, and then you move on to the next thing. Yeah. And like you say,
part of your story.
Yeah, it's all part of your story.
It's all part of your book.
Yeah.
I love that. So, ladies and gents, we would love to be able to support you through this next 6 months to making 2025 your year where you absolutely thrive, where this is your most fulfilling year professionally, personally, and just seeing out in December and being like, I freaking gave it my all. I gave it more than what I felt comfortable, and I feel so much more fulfilled because of it. That is what we want for you for 2025. So if you are interested in learning what our program is, how it can support you, and learning just how we go about it, jump on a call. The link will be in the show notes, but you'll have a chat with me and we'll cover and let you know who is supporting you, how we support you, because it is career, it is health, it is finances, it is relationships, it is your subconscious blueprint that plays out in all of those areas. And so we go large. We make sure that we cover all those areas on an subconscious, on a real rewiring of your neurological and understanding what's been stored within your nervous system, but also very practical. We give you the tools in your career to show up in a way that you may not be used to, or a way that might be new to you. We get the support that you need on a personalized level in your health, with a personalized health protocol, with SUPs and nutrition sent out to you. We give you evidence-based structure in the ways that you show up in your relationships, ones that may still need to be healed, the ones that you want to move forward and deepen your connections. Like, everything ties into each other. And of course, finances. How do you handle your money? Where is it going? Are there money leaks? How can you save? We have clients that are saving the amount that they invested in this program. So essentially they're getting the program for free and learning so much more about themselves and showing up and taking different actions, creating new habits, unshakable confidence, and ultimately being a person that they desired to be and now are that every day. So this is what we are truly passionate about. So if you are wanting this for your 2025, we would love to support you. It is a no-brainer on our regard, but let's jump on a call and we would love to be able to just chat and see where you're at and how we can support.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're going to wrap it up. You're going to be seeing more of Kristina on Beautiful Subconscious. We're going to be touching base. If there are other things that you want to chat about career-wise, not even just career-wise, but just in a way that you can develop yourself personally or professionally, let us know. We can talk and we can touch on so many things, and we will throughout 2025 in support of connecting you to you, connecting us to you, connecting you to a greater source of what you can achieve, because that's what we believe that is living a fulfilled life. So Kristina, thank you for jumping on today, our first guest of 2025.
I love it. Thanks, Shell. Thank you. It's such an honor to be the first one for 2025. And I can't wait to see what it is for both of us and everyone else listening.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. If you got a lot out of this episode, please share it with someone that you believe that this could really help. That would mean the absolute world to us. DM us and also leave a review. Your view matters, and we just can't wait to continue to connect with you. So until next time, live life liberated.
Audience exclusive.